Whoa, good morning team. Toddy here. 4.5k in to my morning commute to work. I'm down here at Brookside Park, the stomping ground of Selwyn Athletics Club, where I do a little bit of coaching during the week. Today I wanted to share again. Hopefully you guys don't mind me waffling on, sharing my ideas and thoughts and bits and bobs. But today I wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit more on the whole idea of planning. I think I said yesterday, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And I don't mean like literally, you fail on everything in life or because you haven't got a plan together. I actually really enjoy the idea of flying by the seat of my pants. A little bit of a chaos type person where I quite like change and the unknown, but a lot of people don't. Everyone has different ideas on how to plan. Now, I wanted to share a couple of different thoughts. I used to, a very long time ago now, I had the privilege of working with a phenomenal athlete as a training partner. And I was very young and immature, still learning the trade of running and growing and developing myself. And one thing I really learned from that experience all those years ago was this athlete had done some pretty phenomenal achievements and feats in their, at that stage, relatively early career in track. And the one thing I really noticed, observed, and took note of was this athlete's ability to prepare, both mentally and physically. I recall many times down at the track, warming up and preparing, working with the coach. Everything would be laid out in a specific sequence, in a specific order. The day was all rolled out, so the time this athlete got up in the morning, how they would prepare their nutrition, their morning meals, their pre-training, their during training, and then obviously their post-training, whether it's nutrition, recovery, all of those sort of key areas that require a lot of attention. And everything was laid out. Everything was set up so that they could not think about the plan, but just deliver the plan, do the plan. Everything was mapped out. The roadmap was there, and all they had to do was deliver on the plan. But we all know that sometimes plans don't necessarily go to plan. And so we have to often adjust and pivot. And I did mention that the other day, that I guess this idea of being adaptable, you've got to adapt. So sometimes when plan A doesn't work, do you actually have a plan B? Have you thought about a plan B? Is that something that is in the back of your mind? If you're in a race and you haven't calculated your nutrition intake well enough, and you kind of bonk or you hit the wall, mid-race, how do you manage that? What's the plan? Or you've gone out for a run and you get yourself lost. What's the plan? So today, this idea of planning, you could be as detailed. If you are a detailed orientated person, then I would strongly encourage you just to look at your diary and map it out. What does my morning look like? Do I have to get up at 6 o'clock? If I need to get to the gym before work, and I know that the commute to get from home to the gym is 10 minutes, I'm going to do an hour at the gym, and then I have to get from the gym to work, which is another 20 minutes. Am I going to leave enough time so that I'm not rushing, I'm not stressed, I'm not kind of flapping about trying to get all these different tasks completed? If I've laid it out in a sequence or an order, and it's all listed out, and a lot of people love lists, so that might be something to consider, is mapping it out. But also consider, if plan A doesn't work, what are you going to do? How are you going to adjust and adapt? How are you going to change your thinking? Often we kind of get this locked in that the plan is the plan and I can't deviate from the plan. Well, actually, you know, it's just a piece of paper, or it's just an idea or thought in your head. It's not locked in concrete, fixed for all time. And so I guess being adaptable to plans is also a really key highlight. So what is my tip of the day today? It still revolves around planning. It involves being adaptable to plans. If plan A doesn't work, have you thought about what plan B looks like? Can you be flexible, or are you rigid today? Are you stuck or fixed? And I guess it comes back to a little bit of that sort of growth mindset versus fixed mindset mentality. So tip of the day, the devil is in the detail. Don't just put one idea down on paper. Make sure you've mapped out your plan. You know what your plan is. If you don't know what your plan is, maybe ask an expert in that space and they might be able to help you with the how. How do you go about mapping a plan out to achieve this big crazy dream of yours? So that's it for today. I've waffled on way too long. I hope you have a great day. I'm off to work now. Enjoy the rest of your day, team, and I will see you next time. Take care.